Hi there, and welcome to another edition of Weekly Wisdom with Starr. This week, I have the absolute pleasure to speak with my good friend, Victoria Stigliano-Dzuban, who is an animal spirituality facilitator. And I have to mention also, it was the first time I'd ever done this, so it's a little bit rough, but I think you'll enjoy it. It was so informative in learning about how to be a true guardian of our animals rather than just an owner or a pet owner. So have a look and we'll see you on the other side.
I and then I do like actually I call it, it's my pendulum assessment, and then I assess all the chakras, and that gives me even more information than the actual animals. So it's kind of like a combination of the two. So it's an energy assessment, and also like I start with like little, words that they send to my head. And it kind of, it's good because it kind of helps the animal's guardian know that I'm actually talking to their animal, because it shows their personality. Like I had a horse that loved attention and gave me the word dressage. I have no idea why that was. Come to find out, he's an ADHD type horse, wants to do dressage, loves the attention that it does, but he just can't do it. But he loves the attention, which was so that horse. It wasn't even funny. So I was like, all right. And I had another cat actually say FOMO to me, which threw me for a loop. I'm like, okay, FOMO? Where would a cat get FOMO? Must have got it from his owner, but that's why she doesn't like her nails clipped. She fears she's gonna miss out. So she said the word FOMO, like, okay. But it kind of gives you the personality. So I've had she was a teenager. She had that type of energy. She had a very young, kind of adolescent type personality. And same with the horse. They're both like 13-year-old teenagers. Really funny. So it helps to give an idea of who the animal is.
Yeah.
Their personality traits, and then, assessing the whole energy. That's where the whole spirituality comes into, because if the heart line's in good shape and if the chakra lines are in good shape, then all is good. But if they're not, then you know that something's not right. The cat's not feeling like he's being heard, or there's, you need to stop worrying so much because your cat picked up a job and now he's trying to take on your worrying, and it's causing him problems. So,
oh, interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really cool. I actually had to do it to my mom's cat. My mom's cat, I saved the leg from being amputated, which was really cool.
Yeah.
But he's not healing as well as she would like, and I guess the vet yelled at her, and so she came to me kind of like at wit's end, like, he needs some energy healing. And all it was like, Mom, he's so worried about you because she's got her own issues.
Yeah.
He's not focused on himself.
Right.
So you need to pay attention to you, and you need to, do your own stuff, because he thinks it's his job to take on your mantle of worry and pain and stress, and that's not helping him heal his leg. So my prescription, I said, my prescription, Mom, stop worrying so much.
Right. That's really
But that's
cool.
what it was, and it was causing a problem with his third eye chakra and his crown chakra because of all the worry and all of the thinking and all of the stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
So it was taking all the energy away from his leg. I mean, he had to have his leg completely rebuilt from a major raccoon attack. So he needs that energy. He needs the energy. We saved the leg. The leg did not get amputated. 3 toes got amputated. We saved 1 toe, but that stuff's got to heal.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So what I'm doing is I just hit the record button, because I'm like, well, let's just do this, and then maybe I can just start uploading them and going, here's another thing, because I think I want to get back in the group to really educating people in the various modalities and stuff. So I'm like, okay, let's just hit the record button and then we'll just post it to the group and call it good. And then that way people can go, oh, I want to learn more about that. I'm going to contact Victoria and stuff like that. So how did you find out you were gifted?
Oh gosh. Well, come to find out, I've been being called for many years and I did not know. I was in my own thing thinking that I'm supposed to be an enlightenment mentor and all this stuff. And then I had a reading, and basically my sister came in. My sister passed in 1991. My sister came into the reading and said I needed to go back to the animals. And I had already learned energy work for the animals. Mm-hmm. But she told the person who was doing my reading, she goes, she's a communicator and she needs to do that. I was like, I am? Okay. So my sister basically told me from the other side that I was an animal communicator. And so I bought a book and I started reading, and then somebody gave me the opportunity. Say, here, I need to know what's going on. And I was able to do that one reading. Wow. And then I'm like, you know what? I need to explore this a bit. So I have a group for animals, for people who have animals. And I ran a promo. And I said, you know, I'm doing a free pump promo. I'm giving free animal readings to kind of see if I can find my groove. And 5 people chose to have me work on their animals. And I got messages that were like spot on. I was like, holy crap.
Doesn't that always amaze you when you're like, what? Because this made no sense, but okay.
Yep. And then it started going is then all of a sudden my other guides and the unicorns they came in. Mm-hmm. What? That was interesting, because I thought unicorns were just popping up in my world because they reminded me of my sister. And I thought, oh, that's my sister saying hello. No, it was the unicorns for the last 25 years trying to get me to listen to them.
Oh my gosh, so you have unicorn guides.
Yeah, so I finally started to do that. And then I come to find out when I started doing research on unicorns, you know, they're 7th dimension, beings, just like fairies and spirit guides and stuff like that. And I realized that their dominion is the animal world. Okay. I was like, okay, so now everything's starting to make sense. I'm like, but now I'm feeling like I'm super woo because I'm talking to unicorns now.
Right.
But they kind of started coming in, and all my guides, my sister and the unicorns, they all kind of said, well, you need to take your coaching and you need to take this animal things and you need to merge them.
Right.
And that's where I came up with Animal Spirituality Facilitator, because I don't just do readings.
Right.
You know, I don't want my readings to end up becoming entertainment. I don't want people to think of it as a fun little game. Oh, I want to hear what my animal thinks, because that's not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to create better relationships.
Right.
With the animals and their people. And understanding the animal is one of the first steps to creating the relationship with their owners and I don't like saying owners, but their guardians and their stewards, because they're separate soul beings. They have their own needs. They have their own desires. They have their own purposes and missions and stuff like that. They're not just fodder for our entertainment. They're not just to fill voids within ourselves. They have their own soul. They have their own purpose. And so that's kind of why I do the animal communication too, so people can understand their animal and get their animal the care it needs, because a lot of the stuff can pop up, like there's something wrong with the right leg and you need to get a vet looked at it.
Yeah.
You know, so it just helps connect people to their animals in a way that they never thought of before. Nice. So that's how it's morphing right now. And then my friend gave me the best line. She kind of attributed what I do to almost like Cesar Millan.
Love him.
He said basically he's not focused on the animal. He's focused on the owner. He trains the people and rehabilitates the animal.
Right.
And
I got the chills. It's all about the energy. It's all, yeah.
So that kind of was a big spur for me to say, okay, I really need to figure out how I can train the humans and rehabilitate the animals. And the best way to do that is to focus on the relationship between them.
Right.
So that's kind of where I am right now. And of course I'm an energy worker. So I do, like right now I have a VIP client that I have. And my mom's cat was a VIP client, but now I'm working on him during the day because my VIP clients, they get my energy work every single night for like however long, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so because energy is energy. You put the intention, the energy is still going to flow.
Right.
And with my guides and my angels and the unicorns helping, I basically do energy work in my sleep. And holy crap, the miracles that are happening. I mean, I saved my mom's cat's leg.
Yeah.
2 weeks every single day working on the leg when I went to sleep. And it's kind of, I have this little quirk about myself, which used to be very frustrating, is when I'm sleeping and I have a dream, I always wake up at the end of the dream. Like I just always do. And it's so frustrating. But now it's like, I'm realizing, wait a minute, every time I wake up, the first thought is like, oh, I got to put my hand back on the spot of my surrogate animal. And so I put another intention out for the healing.
Right.
And then I fall back asleep. So it's like, it's kind of working. Like when I have a VIP client, it kind of helps to maintain the intention throughout the night.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. I like that because you're right. You do so much work when you're sleeping.
Yeah. And it's a VIP. So it's like probably, it's not formulated quite yet as a program, but it's probably going to be one of my most expensive packages because it's every night thing. And then there's going to be, once a week coaching call with the guardian and, a once a week assessments. So it's probably going to be a full on package once I figure it all out.
Yeah.
I just know I've created miracle. I've helped facilitated miracles on 2 now. With the VIP package.
Yeah. So. It feels so good. I was just talking to another coach about it and I was just like, and it's like I put in a post last week. It's like, we know what we do is priceless. Yeah. We just charge what our clients can pay. Yeah. But it is, for me to get somebody to a place where they believe in themselves again and they see the possibilities. Are you kidding me? That's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah. And especially both my VIP clients have had major traumatic injuries.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's easy to see the miracle of healing.
Right.
When you have a major traumatic injury.
Right.
Like my mom's cat he almost lost his entire leg. He got into a fight with a rabid raccoon. Yeah. And it was horrible. My mom and my had to get rabies shots and everything because she was trying to break it up.
Oh my goodness.
Luckily the cat was up to date on his vaccines. So the cat, even though it had to be quarantined for 45 minutes, never got rabies. Yeah. The raccoon obviously died, but that's pretty traumatic. They were like, for a week there, they were thinking either the cat was going to get put down or they're going to have to amputate the leg. And as soon as my mom started thinking that they were going to put the cat down, she called me and we worked, saved the cat's life. I told her, look at the cat. You need to visit the cat. You need to talk to Nike. You need to find out what he wants. And he told her he did not want to die. So that took the, putting the animal to sleep off the table. And then it was the fight. And so I started working on the leg, and the leg was going gangrene and all that stuff. And they thought they were going to have to amputate it. And I focused all that energy and kept trying to get the energy and the blood flow through the leg, and the gangrene went away. And, And then she goes, oh, well, we saved the leg, but we may not be able to save the toes. I said, well, if I can save a leg, I can save a toe. Well, I should have put an S at the end of toes because I only saved one toe. But at least he has a toe.
Right. Exactly. You know, and it's so funny too, because it's like I think about you know, Cesar Millan is always like, our animals choose us. It's not the other way around. And I mean, I have so many questions because you know, I have 2 cats and 2 dogs, and so I'm like, what's Dorian's story? But I'm working on him. And that's the funny part, is because I knew I was like, I need to get in better shape, and the universe brought me Dorian. And, but now it's more like I need to learn patience, so the universe brought me Dorian. But he's so funny because he's just afraid of everything. So, and I've watched Cesar Millan, and I know that, and we're huge fans of Cesar. So, you know, so I know that just getting him to stand in that fear and learn that he can get past it is huge for him. So we've started going out in the backyard, and while he's sitting there freaking out because he's in the backyard, I'm just sitting there writing my journal, or, you know, making sure my energy is calm, so that he gets, oh, okay, I can be calm. And so he's learning to work through that. I don't know how long it's going to take before I can get him in the front yard, but right now, just the fact that he can stay in the backyard and not freak out is such a victory.
Yeah, I can tell, but it's weird. It all is about our energy. Yeah, you know, it's hard to get that when people who aren't energy workers, they don't understand that what they bring to the relationship, what they bring into the house, what they bring to the environment has a very significant effect on the energy of the animal. Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't matter. I mean, energy is energy. If you're screaming because you're watching a football game and you're all excited because your team's winning, that's the same energy pretty much as you screaming and throwing things in anger. So you have to understand the intensity. The animal needs to understand that the difference between the intensities of energy, and they are so sensitive. An animal's energy field is 10 times the size of the animal's body. Oh, wow. So the second you walk into a house, even if you have a 3,000 square foot house, that dog knows what type of energy you're bringing into its environment. Right. Nice. Yeah, that's interesting. It comes to me to tell you this story, and God knows why. I'm always cautious of, like, you know, trying to I don't know, but I'm going to tell you this story. Is like, I had to put my mom's dog, Sammy, down. Mom's in a wheelchair, and she's blind and housebound. And so it finally came time that I had to take Sammy to the vet and have him put down. And I mean, you know, it was hard, of course. But, you know, we went through it, and they were going to take Sammy's ashes and sprinkle them over Lake Powell up in the north and everything like that. I'm driving home from having put Sammy down from the vet, and Scott calls me, and he goes, "Baby, Norman's gone." And I'm like, "What, did he get out?" And he's like, "No, he's gone. He died. My dog died the very same day." Oh my goodness. I'm like, okay. Wow. I wonder if they were connected soul contract wise. I don't know. But I mean, it was like, I literally, okay, I got to go back to Mom's, and then I'll be back to the house to take care of Norman. And so, you know, went up to Mom's, did whatever I had to do up there, ran back to the house, and Norman had just gone out on the back patio and passed away. And he was a 13-year-old basset hound, and it was time. And so, you know, I'm like, okay, let's, you know, I call the vet. Okay, I got another dog to bring in. Oh my gosh. Sprinkle him over Lake Powell too. They're like, yeah, sure. But it was so funny, and it was like just the most bizarre thing. But maybe they did. They never really met. They didn't know. Yeah, you never know. You never know but they were connected to you and your mom. Right. So we all have soul families. So. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I'm always envisioning all of my animals who have passed are up in heaven, if there's a heaven, with my dad hanging out. You know, and I also, I know I had a German Shepherd named Bruno, and I know he hangs out with me from time to time and just shows up. And
Yeah, I have 2 cats that do that. Out of
yeah.
all of my animals that have passed away, I have 2 that come and visit. But when I was learning healing touch for humans, I was the one, you know, I don't know if are you Reiki trained or
So,
okay.
but go ahead, tell me.
All right. Well, when you're learning, you basically learn within a group, and you know you pair up with people, and one person gets on the table and they do their work, and then you switch, and then you do the same thing. And that's kind of how they train you. And this particular time, I'm getting, I think it was level 3. Yeah, because it was right after my Spike passed away, and she was working, and she was very in tune, and she was awesome. And when it came to our time to explain our experience, she goes, it was the weirdest thing. She goes, she was circled by all of her cats. I had Spike energetically was sitting on my stomach, and all of the cats that have passed, she visualized them all circling the table on the floor.
Oh,
kind
wow.
of protecting me. And I was like, I mean, number one, the fact that Spike was on my stomach meant something, because Spike, I found out from a medium that Spike is my security guard.
Yeah.
So he comes in when he thinks I need to be protected. So like if I'm doing a healing, he'll be there kind of as a security guard to make sure everything's cool. And the fact that he was the one that was sitting on my stomach.
Yeah.
While the rest were kind of circling me, was like, it was like, it was really cool. So it was like, that was the only time they all came back.
Yeah. So, that's cool.
And I lost 9. I lost 9 animals from 2007 to 2015. So.
Wow. Yeah. I know. Norman, and then we had another dog named Nico who died just before we moved up here. And he also, oh, bless his heart, he had cancer, and we had to have him put down right before we moved. But Norman and Nico were this pair where people would come into my house for coaching or for an angel card reading, and they would get upset, and both Norman and Nico would just go and lean on him. And they were just there, and they just had the solidity of, and I always just told people, they're part of my reading. They come with me because they just know. And so they, now my current dogs, I don't know. Zuri kind of, but I'm like,
they have their own job.
They do. Zuri is like, my job is to be pretty.
Yeah, my cat right here, her job is to sleep. But she's 18. So she's 18, she can sleep as long as she wants. So.
How do you figure out what your animal's job is? Is there
by paying attention to them?
Yeah.
By paying attention to them, and understanding their behavior. It's, I'm not a behaviorist, but animal behavior tells you a heck of a lot.
Yeah.
If you are an anxious person, you are more likely to have an anxious dog, and that pretty much dictates that, especially with dogs, because dogs, we're their family.
Right.
Cats, it's a little bit different. They have a different instinctual nature, but dogs, we are their family.
Right.
So, when they are within a family unit, they have to take a role on, just as they would in a pack of wolves. Each wolf has a role.
Right.
Like an energetic role. And that's what they do in our families. Mm-hmm. So if you are somebody who is very anxiety ridden and always worrying and whatever, and your dog is presenting with symptoms of nervousness and anxiety as well, it's because he's pulling the anxiety off of you because he wants to help you. His only job in a family unit is to do what's best for the unit. And so they take on the energy in order to help you. But that's not their job. They're not supposed to help us and support us. And, they're there for a companion.
Mm-hmm.
but they're not supposed to take on our garbage, just like we're not supposed to take on the garbage of other people.
Right. So that's interesting. That is, I'm like looking at Scott. I know I'm calm.
No. You're the one that brings the energy way up here. I'm down here.
Okay, so we're gonna have to have a family discussion about why Zuri keeps eating food, eating our socks, and she eats our.
Well, typically that tends to be an energy release.
Yeah.
Most animals. Yeah, I think Caesar will probably mention that in one of his shows.
Go get her on.
When animals tend to chew on things and destroy shoes and destroy fabric, it's because they need to release energy.
Yeah.
So maybe a couple more walks a day or a week or something like that might alleviate that a little bit because they get bored.
Yeah.
Most animals have the mental capacity of like a 3 or 4 year old.
Right. Yeah.
So what happens when a 3-year-old gets bored? It gets into stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that same thing happens with cats and dogs.
Well,
and horses.
Really funny because I mean, I think I mentioned it in the group a couple of weeks ago where I was like, you know, are you getting up first thing in the morning and going on Facebook because you maybe want to stop doing that? Because it sets your mood for the day. So I've consciously been taking both dogs out on the back patio with me and writing in my journal, which has helped Dorian with his anxiety because he has to hang out and not freak out. And Zuri loves laying in the backyard. She just loves being out there, and she was a stray for a year. So, or at least we think a year, God knows how long it was. But when I got her, she weighed 44 pounds and she'd been out in the desert for quite some time. And one of those things where it's like, I knew as soon as I saw her on Facebook, she was going to be my dog. Just knew it. I even tried to not have her be my dog because at the time I had 2 dogs and I was like, I don't need a 3rd dog. So I'll let these other people take her, and they couldn't take her. And I was like, okay, she's mine. That's it. And I mean, even while everybody was deciding, I'm like, I still know she's going to be my dog. So yeah, but she just loves just laying out and smelling the air. And it is that same energy thing where instead of when she starts barking, which the neighbors complain if she barks, so instead of yelling at her, I go, Zuri, no. And she stops because it's the energy that I'm bringing to it. I'm not agreeing with her by yelling at her. I'm going, no, this is the energy we want. We want quiet.
Yeah, and that's one thing that people don't realize is if your dog is barking too much and you yell at the dog, you are just raising the energy level.
Right.
So you're helping to raise the anxiety level. You're just creating more barking.
Right.
So, you know, and when it comes to dogs, I mean, if you can picture like a pack of wolves, you know, they don't necessarily have to be doing something, but they have to be connected. So like you can imagine like a whole bunch of wolves just kind of hanging out before hunting time, and they're all there together, but they don't necessarily have to interact. They don't necessarily have to chat with their neighbor. They just need to be in the space and connected as a unit. So being out in the backyard with your 2 dogs, that's a, what's the word I'm looking for? That's basically, you are facilitating that word always pops into my head. I guess I am a facilitator, but you're facilitating the instinctual environment of a pack of dogs.
Oh yeah, huh? Hey, look at me. Look what I did.
Because that's all about connection and being a unit. Mm-hmm. At least that's how cats are different, but that's at least in dogs.
In dogs, I know. I'm like, my mom has parrots, and I have one parrot that really hates me, and I'm like, okay, how do I get this parrot to stop hating me? He really doesn't. I mean, literally, this parrot, she's got a cockatoo, and then she's got this Moroccan, it's a green parrot, like a pirate's parrot.
Okay.
And neither one of them gets a whole lot of attention and exercise and everything. So of course the cockatoo is like rah, rah, just crazy. But
oh yeah, cockatoos, if they don't have attention, they are like out of control.
She is. And as soon as you pick her up, she's fine and she's adorable and everything like that. But that damn parrot, I mean, literally, I was paying attention to the cockatoo one day, and I swear I thought a snake had bit me, and I kicked my foot and I kicked the bird across the room because I didn't realize it was the bird. And he landed and came back after me. He had bit me on the ankle. He had climbed off his perch, come down the perch, and bit me.
Oh my goodness.
My mom's like, he doesn't really like very many people anyway. So should I speak kindly to this bird? Should I just say nice things to
yes, definitely. Okay. I was actually thinking that when you go and you're there to take care of them, put the intention out that this is going to, like, the energetic intention that there's going to be no issues. Okay. And you kind of come in with this calm, flowing energy. Because I had back in 2015, I lost my cockatiel. Mm-hmm. And I had this cockatiel for 21 years. He was a rescue. And he was 26. He ended up dying of kidney failure. Because he's basically, I think the oldest cockatiel on record is 30. Wow. So, okay. He was up there. He was one of the oldest cockatiels that any of the vets that ever saw him knew. Yeah. But he was a rescue, and he was a breeding pair, and he was nasty his whole life. But when he started getting sick, and he couldn't fly, and he couldn't walk, and he couldn't do anything because he was getting paralysis in his legs. Because of the kidney failure. Yeah. I started doing Reiki on him.
Oh, wow.
He loved it. Absolutely loved it. I was able to pick him up. I was never able to do that when he was healthy. Pick him up, put him in his crate. He had a little crate, and I would sit there and do energy work on him. And the second I would put my hands over him and put the intention that I'm going to give you comfort, his eyes would go, it was like, it was amazing. I'm so glad I had that opportunity with him before he passed. It was, the energy is so, I truly believe that it depends on the energy, how a bird reacts, because birds are extremely reactive to humans. Extremely reactive. And the more connected you try to be with them energetically and try to share your energy, it can do great things. And I saw it with my cockatiel. I still have his cage up because his cage was so big. I have no idea where to put it. So it's right. That's why I keep looking over there. Right. His cage is still there. But it was amazing. Out in there,
isn't he?
No, he got cremated. He's actually in my dining room. He got cremated. I think
his spirit is still in that cage, though, isn't it?
It probably.
Yeah. Huh.
I mean, I got him when he was 4 years old.
Yeah.
I was all he knew.
Yeah.
21 years. I mean, that's like half my life almost.
So he's amongst the menagerie that follows you around all the time with the unicorns and the cats and the. That's awesome. Yeah. I know my mom's got this one cockatoo, and all he does is wolf whistle. And she says he only does it when I come in the room. And so, I mean, I'll walk in and I mean, I can only do a really loud whistle. So I can only go, and Wolfie does that. That's his name now, is Wolfie, because he does the wolf whistle. But it's so funny because sometimes I feel like, we have a guy named Wolfie. And I feel like Wolfie just comes and inhabits that bird when I show up. And then,
Probably.
It's like, hey, I'm here now. Okay, looking over Mom's house. Now I'm going to go back over to your house.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. It's so funny. And birds are my thing. I mean, I definitely feel like they're my, in general, animal totem. I mean, like the other day I was sitting down and I was writing my journal and a whole bunch of crows flew across. And I was like,
wow.
Magic, okay, got understood, and I mean, I'll see hummingbirds and doves and quails, and so I just know that they come around and to give me a specific message all the time. So I always, and then of course Mom has all the birds, but
yeah, the one thing people have to realize when it comes to especially captive birds, they are always they are so intelligent. They're like a smart 3-year-old. They're a smart 5-year-old. And they are very, very independent. So looking at them as, like, say, a stranger's 3-year-old, basically, is kind of the type of energy you need to work with. They're not like dogs and cats that can be compliant and stuff like that. They're like, no, you give me a reason why I need to do that. And that's why people always have to give treats. You know, if you're nice, give a treat.
Yeah, I know. I'll offer him a peanut, and he's like, "Oh no, not a peanut from you. No." Mom says, she's like, he just knows you're a Piercy. He didn't like your dad either.
Well, you know what? It could be. It could be. Animals know things that we don't. So
yeah, isn't that fascinating? How much fun! What a great calling.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it all comes together soon, because not only do I have to make a living, but I also have been tasked. I mean, I keep getting these messages from the unicorns that I need to get my butt moving because their animals need you. I was like, I'm trying.
Oh my gosh, that's really cool.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find, you know, I've tried to connect with some rescues, but what I do, nobody does. So it's really hard I'm trying to find my, I know my message.
Yeah.
I know what I need to bring to the world, but how do I translate that into a language that people can understand?
Right.
That's where I'm having a problem.
Right.
So even with the gorilla group, it's like, I can't go and buy their course if I don't know what I'm supposed to be. I don't know my ICA. I know they're open-hearted or open-minded, heart-centered animal guardians. That's all I know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to, like, you know, but getting that, I guess, language is what's going to help, because I got to speak to them. You know, what do they need? That's why I did on my timeline, I had a survey done, like a quick survey, just so I can kind of get an idea of what people look for, as animal guardians. Yeah, and that's the other thing I want to change the language. They're not pets, because pets, to me, denote property. Right. They're not property. Right. They're not entertainment. We are not owners. Right. We are guardians and stewards, and they're our companions and friends. Right. Just like another human being. You don't own another human being. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Well, so why would you own an animal being? Right. Absolutely. So I would say for sure, just as a way of some of the things that we've learned and started doing is get testimonials from people. Yeah. And the reason, so if you've got some already. I've gotten a couple. I don't have a database of clients yet. So the ones that I have worked with have given me, especially with the animals, I'm going to get, once I'm done with this VIP client, I'm going to get a testimonial from her. Yeah. And I got to talk to my mom when she is in a better space. I'll be like, Mom, can you, like, you know, if you can write something about how your experience was with me working with Nike, that will help. And even like the people that you did free services for, get testimonials from them too. Oh, everything I've done so far has been free. So go back to those people and ask them for a testimonial, because that's going to give you the language. They're going to tell you what you need to say to your clients. Yeah. So if you just start collecting those testimonials, then you're going to get that information. That'll give you a place to start, and then you'll be able to kind of go, okay, I get it now. I understand. And that's been huge for me. All of my messaging has come from my testimonials, because your clients tell you what you want to do. So absolutely. And I would say just practice, you know, and get more testimonials while you're practicing. Yeah. I like the fact that my last 2 clients have been VIP clients, because that really shows what I can do. Right. My mom even said, now my mom and we have an interesting relationship. We are friends now. We are very good friends now, but we never really had an emotional relationship as I was growing up.
Right.
And now she actually comes to me when she is at her wit's end, with the animals and also with herself.
Right.
And this past week, I told her she wanted me to work on Nike, so I did, and I did it. I always start with a reading, especially if I haven't worked on them for a while, to make sure everything is aligned properly. And she goes, "How do you do this?" I wasn't sure what she was talking about when I read that, but I guess it found out that Nike knew that I was going to be treating him, and he actually walked into the crate that he hates to go into at night without anything, because he knew it was happening. Same thing happened with the VIP client I have right now. He knows when it's time for Victoria to work on me. He actually walks into his cage to lay down, which is really cool, because I was like, I don't know when it's happening when I'm talking to him, like saying, "Hi, I'm here. We're going to do this stuff," because I always get their permission. Or if they're sensing that it's coming, and they go, because the client that I'm working on right now is in Australia. So if I go to bed at 5:30 in the morning, which is typically my normal time, it's just about 8 o'clock, or 5:30, no, 7:30 their time.
Yeah.
So 7:30 at night, and they go to bed at like 8 o'clock because she's up really early. So she does what he does and puts him in his crate at night, and he actually has been walking into the crate right around 7:30, 8 o'clock every night, right around the time that I go to bed, and I start the intention process, and I ask the angels, and Archangel Thuriel and Hariel, and all the archangels that are specifically for animals, and the unicorns and whatever. And I'm like, okay, help, and let's facilitate and put the energy where it needs to go. And there's nerve damage, so I specifically have a visualization of like little worker guys with like hard hats actually repaving the neural pathways.
Yeah.
So, and it's working. Yay!
Isn't
so
that awesome?
It's so exciting, and it worked within a week. Within a week, she saw a significant progress in nerve function. So I was like, oh, so awesome.
Nice.
Like, cool. These animals know.
They do.
And my mom's cat's in Jersey, and my VIP client is in Australia, and they know what I'm working on them.
That is really
very cool.
How cool is that? And they have like their little internal clocks. I mean, you see that all the time, because it's like I think last week I was working in the office, and sure enough, 5:15 rolls around, and that's dinner time, and all three animals are like right there going, "Hello, what are you doing? Why are you what? Come feed." We're not going to stop bugging you until you feed us.
Yeah, but I also think that it could be an energetic thing too, because my cat gets fed at different times because of my husband's schedule. She gets only wet food, with a little bit of kibble. Like it takes her like 6 months to go through a small bag of kibble, so she doesn't eat a lot of it. But she gets wet food twice a day.
Yep.
And my husband can get up at 4 o'clock in the morning or get up at 6:30 in the morning. So she can get fed anytime, or then on weekends, she'll get fed at 8 o'clock in the morning. So we feed her 12 hours later.
Yeah.
For that thing. But she knows when we're starting to get, no matter what time of the day it is, she knows that we are thinking about her dinner. So I think there's also an energy component as well.
Nice. Oh, I could talk about animals all day. They're so fun.
And she knows when she's getting her medicine too. Like sometimes, because I give her treats after I give her medicine. Mm-hmm. So she looks forward to the treats. And sometimes, not all the time, because she doesn't like the medicine, but sometimes she's like, I think I'm hungry. I think it's time to get my treats. So she'll actually be a little bit more attentive to me when it's time for her medicine, so she can get her treats. And she gets the medicine around 3:30, 4 o'clock, twice a day.
Man, that's so funny. So if I were to try to communicate with my animals, how would I do that? How do I start? Is it mental, energetic? I mean, obviously energetic, but.
Well, animals speak in 4 different ways. The obvious, which is body language.
Mm-hmm.
They speak energetically. They speak telepathically.
Mm-hmm.
And the telepathic way, they speak in pictures and words. So mostly pictures, because they don't have the vocabulary that we have.
Right.
But since they associate, they will associate different words with how they're feeling. So those are the 3 ways, the 3 main ways that animals communicate, is telepathically, both pictures and words, energetically, and body language wise.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you can notice, like, if you do a drastic hand movement, you're going to scare somebody, because they're assuming that they don't know why you're doing that.
Right.
So they're going to automatically be in the instinctual mindset, and they're going to protect themselves.
Right.
So that's why kids get attacked a lot, not because the dog's mean, but because the kids have very erratic movements.
Right.
And the dog's trying to understand that. Those are the 3 ways. And the other way that we can understand them better is you need to understand the breed's instinct. That's their spirituality. They have to be connected to their instinct.
Right.
No matter how domesticated they are, a dog is a dog, a cat is a cat, a bird is a bird, a horse is a horse. So there's things that are genetically passed down through the breed, no matter how many years of domestication, that needs to be taken care of, and needs to pay attention to. And that will help you understand them better.
Yeah, so it's like when we got Dorian, he's half Weimaraner and half Lab, and Scott started researching Weimaraners. And
wow, energetic dog there who's
yeah,
scared of everything.
And he's afraid of everything, so you can't take him outside for a walk because he just goes away and he's terrified. But Scott started researching, and it's like Weimaraners wolf their food, and I'll be damned if this dog does not wolf down his food. I mean, it's like he's starving to death no matter what time you feed him. And there are other things, like Scott said, a lot of people with Weimaraners keep them on a leash all day because they're so spastic. They're just like, you got to grab onto something. So.
Yep. One of my first dog's attacks was a Weimaraner, actually.
Oh, wow.
I had one bite the back of my calf. I was riding past the house.
Yeah.
I was petrified of that dog. Petrified.
Wow. That's really interesting. Yeah.
I mean, that's over and done with. I'm no longer petrified of dogs. But as a 12-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah. And that energy is there. Absolutely. I know. It's like, I will always, always have German Shepherds because I just love their energy. They're just faithful energy dogs. And just once they find their person, man, that's it. They're just boom. You're bonded for life. And it's like, it's just, it amazes me. They're just, I'm one of those people who's like, oh, a doggy, let me pet,
yeah.
But at least I know enough to just ask people now instead of wanting up and just.
Yeah, and you know what? With you communicating with your animals, it's okay to have conversations with them.
Yeah.
Like actual, because they're going to associate certain words and your energy, and they're going to be able to understand you better. And they speak with their eyes.
Yeah.
It's all in their eyes, and you can tell that kind of. But with all of the deaths that I've dealt with in my house, that's where you know where their heart is. Yeah. Is by looking at their eyes.
Yeah.
And listening to them energetically as they're looking at you.
Yeah. We
need to be present. We need to be grounded when we're dealing with our animals, because that's when we're going to get the information that they're sending us.
Right. Exactly. I remember when Nico, he had lymphoma for quite some time, and we just kept giving him the steroids, and I kept telling my boys, we'll know when it's time for him to go, he'll tell us. And he did. He got up one day, and I was just like, this is it, he's ready to go now. And you know, you died chills because he's like with me apparently, but, but, you know, it's that you just can look in their eyes and just know what they're feeling. So absolutely. Yeah. And
it can be difficult too, because one of the things that we as humans need to do is we have to get out of our head.
right.
We cannot think with the same thoughts and agendas that we as humans have. That it doesn't work that way. I had, especially when it comes to like transitioning of animals. My last animal who passed away was actually the day after my birthday last year.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually wanted, and I had help understanding him because I was just starting to get into the communication, but he wanted to die on his own terms.
Yeah.
He wanted to do it with what he thought was dignity.
Mm-hmm.
And my job was to allow that as his guard. And so he did what he did. He passed away on his own terms. And it was, if you were to watch a video of it, you would think in your human mind that this was like, oh my gosh, this animal was suffering, but he wasn't. He needed to go through the dying process. And I was there. I have a treatment that I do called the pain drain. And I was able, for the last hour of his life, I was able to do a pain drain on him every time he would have a pain seizure.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like within seconds of me putting my receiving hand on him and sending out the ed, then he would take a deep breath. It would be like, thank you.
Yeah.
You know, so he can go through it. It was because I was out of my head.
Right.
I was all about him.
Mm-hmm.
It was the most beautiful thing I had ever gone through.
Yeah. Oh.
And it's so difficult to translate that to another human because we are very codependent to our animals. And that's what we need to change. We need to stop being codependent to them. They are not to fill a void in our lives.
Right.
But it was such a beautiful, if I want to look back in hindsight with mom's eyes, it was torturous.
Yeah.
But as a spirituality facilitator and the sole person that this cat chose, it was my job to support him in what he wanted. He did not want to be brought to the vet. He did not want to be put down. He wanted to do it himself. And then at the end, he got really scared. He did not realize it was going to be as difficult. Mm-hmm. But he still went through it. And with my help, being able to relieve his pain, even a little bit, allowed him to transition on his own terms. And not my terms, his terms.
What a beautiful.
And that's really hard. That's really hard to translate to humans.
Right. Right. But it's almost like I think that even human beings choose on some level. I've heard, you know, whether they've died by accident or by whatever, on some level, a person knows 6 months before they're going to pass that they will. And they choose that, you know. I mean, I know somebody recently who he went back after, you know, his mom was sick and he went back to the state and all this stuff, stuck around and nothing happened. And when he left, she passed away. And so, you know, and my dad passed away, had a heart attack, boom, he was dead. But that was the way he wanted to die always. Yeah. And I mean,
some humans need help. I mean, I had a couple, they need to, because we are codependent beings. We hold on to attachments.
Yeah.
So there's been now a couple times that we've actually had to help. We've experienced losing a human part of our family. And it took, like, I know with my friend, Sonny, I actually had to say, because he was hanging on, he was so sick, there's no way he was ever going to get off the stuff. He was dying, but he was fighting it so much because he was afraid for me. Right. And he was afraid for his cats. And he waited for me. I got there, and then I said, it's okay. Yeah. I will be okay. The cats will be taken care of. Yeah. Go see Betty, who is his lifelong love. Yeah. and go see your parents.
Yeah.
It's okay. He will be okay. He was gone within 10 minutes of that.
Yeah.
So he needed my permission
Yeah, I believe that.
to
I really
pass
do.
on.
I believe that happens, that people,
Yeah.
stay for reasons, and then once they're relieved of that, then they're fine. I have a feeling my mom will live forever because her animals need her, and she's just not.
Oh, my husband swears my cat Tic Tac will never die.
Yeah.
Like, she's 18 and she acts like a 12-year-old. I swear. Like, I mean,
Like,
actually even younger. You look at her eyes and you say, like, okay, this cat is like half of her age, but yet she walks like a 90-year-old. But her eyes are like so clear and she's so vibrant, and he's like, she's never gonna die.
Yeah. It's funny. Isn't that weird that we end up this entire conversation talking about death? It's like,
well, you know what? It is a very essential part
part
of life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not something to fear. And it's not something to, it's a transition. It is not a end all be all.
Right.
We are energy.
Yeah.
Energy does not die.
No.
It continues. We just go on to another chapter.
Exactly.
And it's the attachments that we have that make it difficult
to
talk about. Like I said, I mean, I've been through an awful lot of death and they taught me an awful lot, because I've had a lot of hospice care. I've had to transition many animals, and be there for them, not for me, but for them. When Spike was dying of kidney failure, he was my first miracle, because with my energy work, I was able to keep him at stage 3 kidney failure for 2 years, because he came to me with stage 3 kidney failure, and I was able to keep him healthy for 2 years. And my vet was like, I don't know how you did that, because it's unheard of. But when he finally switched into stage 4, I literally lived right here in front of me on the living room floor. I had pads and everything. He and I lived for a week right here, and I was his human wheelchair, because he still wanted to use the litter box, but his back legs weren't working. And he was one of those ones that didn't want to go. He just wanted to do it his way. And so I was there. I was there through every single step, every breath, everything that he went through for a week. I did nothing but be his support. And that is the ultimate thing of the work that I do.
Yeah.
That is ultimately what, being the support for them, because they want to, not only do we want to share our lives with them, they want to share their life with us.
Yeah.
And people forget that. And I don't think it's like, I don't think it's on purpose. I just think we are, as a society, it's just systemically in that animals we're supposed to have dominion over. It says it in the Bible. It says, it's like, but these animals they're soul beings. If you do any past life work, and if you know the lives that you've had, you've probably been an animal at some point. So it's like, everything has a soul. A spider has a soul. A cricket has a soul.
I know. It was so funny. The mice take over my mom's house. It's just they're everywhere. And so, like, one day we were cleaning out the back room, and we knew there was a mouse in a thing, and I had to take him. So I'm like, we scooped him up and put it, moved the thing so that his nest would just fall into this trash can. So I'm carrying him out in the backyard, and I'm going, now look, you're going to be a country mouse now. You don't need to be a house mouse anymore. You're going to go be a country mouse. My mother is like, what the hell is wrong with you?
It works. It works. Some are very stubborn, but I've had conversations with spiders, and they listen to me. Like, we have house rules.
Yeah. And
they stick to the house rules, which is very strange. I don't know how it happens, but I have a conversation with them, and they stay away.
I was trained the same way when I took the Munokai rights, that you can speak to sometimes I don't have a lot of luck with spiders and flies. Sometimes I'm like, hey, and they don't listen to me. But
yeah,
the ants in our backyard have moved on because we asked them politely to go away. So they left.
No, I need to do that because we've had red and black ants that have been driving me nuts, and you know, I'm not one to kill anything unless they are harbingers of disease.
Right.
I really don't kill anything, but I have been known to kill an ant because they get so plentiful and they get so annoying. And I hate it. I feel bad every single time. I feel bad every single time. But you know, I'm just gonna. I think they've moved on finally, but I haven't seen one in a couple of days. But if they come back, I'll be like, all right, this is not good. The mouse isn't listening. We have one mouse in the house, and he's just not listening. Yeah. I've had 3 conversations with him, and he's still all over the house.
Like, listen, buddy.
Cheeky little bugger.
I know. All right. Well, hey, we're at an hour. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and post one. I'll upload it to the group and do that. And so if people want to learn more, how do they contact you? What do you got? Any specials going? Tell us about your business.
I actually do have a special for readings. I'm going to be upping the price probably the end of June. So right now it's still $55 for a reading. And if you want, depending on the reading, if you want a wellness session afterwards, then that session will drop the reading down to $22 and you just pay an extra $55. And so you have a total of $77 for a reading and a session.
Okay.
That's my promo now, but that's going to go away at the end of June because I need to up the prices.
Yeah.
And basically I'm on my profile. I do have a group. If you are an animal guardian, it is specifically for people who share their lives with animals. That's facebook.com/groups/creative healing for your pet.
Cool.
That's the group. And then just my profile.
Yeah.
Victoria Stigliano-Dzuban on Facebook. That's kind of where I am.
So at the end of this, Dorian has just walked up and wants me to scratch his butt. He's just he's like, no, I really like it when you scratch my butt. So just keep doing that because I love the butt scratching thing.
Yeah, and on my profile, if anybody who has an animal and wants to fill out my survey, there is a survey on my Facebook profile. It's public. Okay. I'm looking for 100 people. I think I'm only at like 30.
It goes slow, but I'll definitely fill it out for you. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and upload this probably tomorrow, and then you can add your links and everything like that to the comments.
Cool.
We'll just do it that way, and then for real. So what a great conversation! I'm all excited now. I'm really gonna be working on that damn parrot because he hates me. I don't know what I ever did to him, but
well, you know what? You may not be Reiki certified, but you have Reiki. I mean, it's energy force. So if he's like ever around and you just want to kind of rub your hands together and just send positive energy to him,
yeah,
he'll feel it.
Well,
and
good.
It might break the ice a little bit.
Maybe. I do try to talk to him kindly, but I think he just doesn't believe the bullshit because he knows I really don't like him.
Yeah, well, you have to be grounded and present. You have to love him as a soul being. That's where it starts.
I'm going to have to believe that Pedro is not an evil devil bird anymore. Okay.
Who knows? Maybe there's a reason why he's that way.
Maybe.
So maybe there's an empathy angle you can come.
Yeah.
Like that.
That could work. Okay. Well, what a pleasure. I'm so excited.
Yes, this has been fun.
Find out about your group too and join your group and get help you with your group if I can help you at all, let me know
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Do you want me to send you an invite or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please do.
I'll send it in your messenger. I'll send you a link.
Perfect. And we will get this up tomorrow and then we'll have all about animal communication tomorrow. That's so exciting.
How was your launch, by the way? It sounded like it was exciting for you.
It was really, really good. It was really good. I learned a lot about being okay with asking people out loud and saying, do you want to join my course? Because I think I had 2 or 3 people who would have, and if I hadn't asked for them, they probably would have missed the deadline. And so it was quite an education, and it was so many good things. So many good things are happening.
Cool. Well, I'm interested. I am actually a certified law of attraction coach already. So nice. You actually focus on some of the laws that I was not taught in my course. So
yeah.
So it was very interesting to me. I mean, I use things like the law of cause and effect and law of reflection and stuff like that. But there's you know, this. But you have brought some of just so many universal laws.
There are. And it really does. It comes down to, it's just common sense. And you just run into a situation, you go, which law do I use for this one? Yeah. Okay. So, I love it. I love it. So that's awesome.
I always talk about the law of polarity because people forget that. It's like you can't have the good without the bad. You can't have the bad without the good. So it's like, it's just the way the world works.
Exactly. All right. Well, cool.
All right. Well, thank you. It's been very fun.
Yeah.
You too.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Wow. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. It was such a great conversation with Victoria. Now, if you liked it, hit like, subscribe to my channel, and be sure and share this out with your network and your friends, because I would adore having more subscribers and more people hanging out, learning about the intuitive arts. As always, be sure and check me out on my Facebook page, yonderstar.facebook.com, and my website at www.yonderstar.com. Join us next week when we talk to the wonderful, real psychic, Danielle Huff. She's known as the Intuitive Healing Woman, and I've actually aired this previously on Facebook, and I just adored the time with her because she was so informative about using the intuitive arts, about clearing energy. It was a class. It was just a class. And so I hope you'll enjoy that, and we will see you next week.